Hey y'all, Tara May here again. This time I want to review one that's actually more of a comedy with horror elements. This is called Frankenstein's General Hospital, and I guarantee most people have not heard of this movie. Now, I actually had to buy this DVD from Europe as they have not released it past Laserdisc in the US. I don't really know why, but I used to rent this all the time as a kid. My brother and I loved this movie. And it is a sort of twist on the Frankenstein tale. And I know that's not original. I know that Mel Brooks probably done it best with Young Frankenstein. However, this movie is full of sleaze. We have a nurse that loves doctors so much she sleeps with most of them in the elevator most of the time. Several scenes of that. The doctor's lounge has a strip joint. The psychologist is a bit of a dominatrix, and she likes to tie the director up and has this whole chest full of toys. And we get lots of nudity all through this movie. We've got a clumsy candy striper. We've got Dr. Frankenstein, who's going by a different name. And he's working on a secret experiment. And every time they say that, there's like 3 people giggling in the background they can never completely find the source of. There's all kinds of hijinks going on. People wind up dead. Iggy, he's, instead of just calling him Igor, he's Iggy. It's played by Leslie Jordan. And he puts on the suspenders, and it kind of actually makes him limp and have a, hunched over, bent look to him and stuff. It's every time they go in the lab, it's black and white. They give a brief explanation in the beginning that some kind of machine sucked the color out or something. So it's really cheesy, but it is so funny, and it's just all the way through it. There's all kinds of spoofy stuff you can laugh at. I mean, I watched it so much as a kid that when I watched this again for the first time in years the other day, I still remembered most of the lines to it. And I know maybe it's mostly nostalgia that makes me still like this movie. Also, you may recognize Erwin Keyes, and he is in House of a Thousand Corpses in the beginning, in the gas station with Captain Spaulding there, played by Sid Haig. And that guy, Mark Blankfield, he's in a few things. He was in, I think it's the Third Angel movie around when the time he did this, because this came out in 1988. And that was also the shrink on the back. She kind of, just like Madeline Kahn falls for the, Young Frankenstein falls for Frankenstein's monster, she falls for Frankenstein's monster, and then it's played by Erwin Keyes, who kind of gets like a punk makeover at one point, walking around with a big boombox and stuff. It is not a serious movie. Again, sometimes I don't always watch serious movies. It mostly comedy. There's just all kinds of wacky stuff that goes on in it, all kinds of sleaze, nudity, and stuff. And then you've got, like Iggy going around trying to steal body parts, accidentally brings 2 left legs, stuff like that. I don't want to spoil too much of the movie because I think it's rather fun, and most of y'all would probably enjoy it a little bit. But like I said, I actually could only find this in either Germany or England, places like that. So I don't know if they'll ever have a US release, and I don't know how many of you have region-free players. You may be able to find an old VHS copy if you think it's worth it. But if you can find it, it may be on YouTube. I didn't actually check. It's worth a watch. It's kind of a lost one, in my opinion, since most people have never heard of it. I actually really liked it, so I thought I would mention it on here just because it's a piece of my childhood that I wanted to remember. And maybe some of y'all remember this. Maybe you've seen it. I know we had a pretty good video store, so we used to hit that up all the time. Cover didn't look like this, though. It was green, and it had most of the cast ensemble with, somebody in a hospital bed, and definitely looked wacky. These, I think they were trying to capitalize on the 2 people that are still known, so they put Erwin Keyes and Leslie Jordan on the front there. But they're not the main characters. They just are ones that people are familiar with now. Leslie Jordan being, I think he's pretty big in the gay community, actually. I've seen him in some stuff like that. Got a funny voice. You'd recognize him if you, saw him, heard him, whatever. So, I hope y'all like that, and I hope y'all subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at TaraMay79. And if any of y'all have suggestions, I am open to suggestions on what you'd like to see me review. I've seen a lot of stuff, and maybe you might even suggest something that I haven't watched yet. I'd watch it and review it on here for you, so I'm open to that. And thanks for your time, and thank you to my subscribers that continue to follow me on here, and those that follow me on Twitter also.